And we're back. What's going on, André?
Hey, Mr. Man, how you doing?
Trying to chill, man. I'm trying to chill. I'm trying to practice self-care. Trying to because
It's hard to practice self-care when the world is getting on your last nerve.
very last nerve.
Mama used to say.
Yeah, very
What,
last.
wasn't that a warning? You know when she said, "Don't get on my last nerve." You know that what this is it. That's it.
And if you don't know what you're doing, just sit still.
Right.
Just sit still, sit on top of your hands if you need to, because you
Right.
don't want to make a mistake and do that thing you didn't know you were doing. That was getting on her last nerve.
No. Don't touch nothing. Don't look at nothing. Put your head down. Just sit still for a little while.
It might even be safe to hold your breath for 10 seconds. Just take a deep breath and just
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Just wait.
Exactly.
Just wait.
Exactly. Exactly.
How's your week been, man?
I was thinking about this during as I was setting up meetings and going from meeting to meeting. It used to be you have a meeting at 9 o'clock. You're not going to set your next meeting right at 9:45 or 9:46 when the 9:45 is over because you had to walk, get to the bathroom, maybe take a bus, do something. But now in this like virtual Zoom life, so it's, oh yeah, you finish at 9 o'clock. We meet at 9:01.
Mm.
You're like, sure. I'm facilitating. You're doing it too, if I understand correctly, until like 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
Because West Coast is like, oh, word, virtual. Bring it on. It's only 3 o'clock here. What's up? You're like, yeah, I've been going since 6 a.m. But hi, how are you? Welcome.
Listen, you got to chase the bag around the clock, brother.
That's what I'm doing.
You securing the bag 24/7.
Trying, man. Trying, man. How about you? How was your week?
It's all right, man. It's all right. I mean, when I see the students, it gives me life, particularly when I've been making my little trips down to the lower school to see the little chillins.
Nice.
They are a joy. So you could be having a day that's just a day. And then you go down there, it's like, okay, I'm cool. I got a little bit of food, got a little food. So other than that, man, just trying to stay healthy. You know, the seasons change. I'm always careful around this time because when it changes from like spring to summer, and then from summer to fall in particular, that's when I have always make sure I'm on top of my vitamin C, etc. Because can't get caught slipping out here. That's when they try to catch me, get me these colds and stuff. So
Especially right now.
yes, exactly. When the weather, and especially when the weather keeps going back and forth. So just trying to maintain.
My grandmother will say it's pneumonia weather.
Yeah.
I don't care if it is hot. Put your coat on. It's pneumonia.
Yeah. Put something around your neck.
Right.
Put something around your neck. Make zip it.
Exactly. Where do you stand on the flu shot?
I've never got one.
Wow. Tell me about that.
Never got one, and I don't intend on getting one. Number of different reasons. A lot of stuff is historical. And I've been fortunate enough in many places where I haven't had to have it. I know, Amanda, for example, she has to have it working in hospitals and things of that nature. But I've never had it. I've never had it. I don't think I need it. No. I know I'm covered. I still pray. I still pray, but so I'm covered underneath God's insurance, brother. God's insurance, brother. But I just need to make sure, I want to make sure that there's certain things like I'm not against doctors, I'm not against vaccinations. I'm against certain type of things, knowing what I know and have studied what I studied, understanding certain things about how certain vaccinations get delivered to certain communities, depending on zip code and who happens to live there. I've read all that stuff.
So you officially have the blessed assurance account.
Yes, sir. Yes. And it always runneth over. Yes, sir. How about you? How about yourself?
I am going to get a shot. I've gotten them for years. I think living in New York City, and I'm not in my 30s like you anymore. So, but I fully understand the not trusting and the historical pieces. I don't push back on that at all. Mm-hmm. I respect the process, but I've gotten them. I just had a doctor talk me through getting them that I could trust. But I don't have a doctor right now, and people like, oh, go to CVS, and I'm sitting like, you mean that pharmacist that don't have time for nobody, or Erica who's working in the COVID? What? Sorry, working in the pharmacy. I said COVID. Working in CVS. All I can imagine is like, what am I putting in? okay, you know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
this is how it's gonna work. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
I mean, and you know, and it's just one of those things. It's like it's again, you have to go to the right doctors, you have to go to
Right.
the right spaces because there's times I go to get takeout delivery. I mean, get takeout food, and they don't got my order right. So I'm like, you can't even take my order right. You can't even put the cheese on my grits that I asked for.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it to me.
I'm
Think
just
about
saying.
it.
I'm just
Every flu shot I've gotten has been from like a doctor I saw for years.
That's good.
Now that I've moved to Philadelphia, I don't have a doctor.
You better get some referrals, brother, from someone you understand and
And
someone who understands you.
yeah, Eric, because everybody is like, oh, just go to CVS and get it. I'm like,
Like, oh yeah, like what I look like? I'm gonna go get my flu shot from the same place I get my beer. Yeah, get your flu shot at Acme. Come through, come through.
right. And the thing is, I do understand on a mass level in terms of distribution, this is how it has to be.
Yes.
When it comes to COVID, that's going to be like at the bodega. Seriously, because the way it has to spread out.
Yo, let me get a quarter water, a nutcracker, and that COVID vaccine. I take that. I take that.
Open your mouth, Poppy. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. I got to shoot.
Poppy, move, Poppy, bang, bang.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly. Ah.
Oh goodness. Yes, yes. I hear you, man. Listen. You gotta do what you gotta do. What's best for you all the time.
But I think it's time we turn to. I don't know if we. It's a good segue. It may take our pattern out, but I think we turn to the other medication.
Yes.
Through these trying times.
Yes, yes, for sure, for sure. And you know, back in the day, during Prohibition, you know, when there was no alcohol allowed, not only did they have the speakeasies, but there were some places that was allowed for the medicinal purposes, like you said, you know, have a little, you know, it's my vaccine in the bottle, brother.
I hear you. Okay. All right. Blessed assurance.
Put my business in the streets.
I'm trying to have a conversation. I'm not even laugh. I'm just asking like questions, you know, down, you know, I'm just
nope, I love it, love it, love it, love it. So what you sipping on, brother?
well, you know, I was blessed with a gift. You know, I got a new pad, and folks are still bringing stuff by. And this is one. It's one of those ones that I know is like dangerous, but I can't remember the first dangerous moment I had. But somebody brought this. I don't know if you know this beast.
Oh yes.
Ooh, that's trouble.
Oh yeah, that's some good blended scotch. Yes.
One of the first originals.
Mm-hmm.
Monkey shoulder. I remember the first time I was like, what is it? Monkey shoulder. I was like, what?
You said what?
Okay. Yeah. Because when I read malt, I was like, oh, is this like Colt 45 of Scotch whiskey or like what is it? You know? But apparently this is something pretty special.
Okay, yeah. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
27. It was a gift. 43%.
Yes, sir. It should be smooth with a little bit of aroma of apricot.
From Scotland. It's made in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Got little monkeys on it. Little monkeys.
Oh, okay.
A little fancy.
I see.
So we'll see. That's what I'm sipping. How about you? What you got?
I haven't had this one before. But
you know, day for everybody.
You know, Old Forester Rye. Tried out 100 proof.
Ooh, I'm gonna call you uncle today. Uncle Mikael.
We see how this tastes. You know, we're gonna see
how'd that come into your world?
So here's the thing, brother. Remember, you know, as a businessman, Brown Foreman is the stock that I own. Part of it, you know, different part of my portfolio, and one of their brands within the Woodford Reserve, of course, but then also Old Forester. I've had their regular bourbon before, which is 86 proof. Never had their rye though, which is 100 proof. This one, so give it a taste, brother. I'm gonna give it a taste.
I have uncles and aunts where I'm like, oh, I got you this bottle of Bullet. They had Old Forester.
Is that right? Okay.
I come with the Millbrook. They were like, what's this square bottle? They have Old Forester. Like that's my aunts and uncles. Helen, Uncle Henry.
I'm glad to be a part of the team. I'm part of the family, brother.
Uncle Renzi, all of them. Not Uncle Renzi, Uncle Perry.
Okay.
Uncle Renzi, the only one ain't drink. He was the oldest.
Mm.
But the rest of them, that old farcer and old granddad.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's coming soon, brother. It's
I
coming.
ain't saying I celebrate it.
Got the olds, brother. Got the olds.
Let's do this
Let's
because
do it. How that smell? Ooh.
I smelled the apricot already. You weren't kidding. How'd you know that?
I bet YouTube University, bro. Come on, bro. It remind me of those commercials, ITT Institute, all of them. Yo, where you got your degree? Hey,
The best was there was a moment of you being like, "Come on, I told you this." Like this just happened. You did that in a split second. I was like, "Right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. I got you. You're right, you're right." Okay.
Listen, man, I was a scholar.
I see.
Man.
I see. Valedictorian. I'm gonna go easy because I remember Monkey Show. I ain't trying to be out in the street fighting tonight.
Film producer Andre Robert Lee was caught
out there. Talking about Monkey Shoulders is a lie. Screaming it at the top of his
lungs. Him running down the pike. What we toasted to, man.
Well, let's let me let this simmer. I want to hear about what you're rocking today.
True that. Look at. Mm-hmm.
You're one of my favorites.
You know, I haven't visited the store in a little bit. The movement. Walked by the other day. It was back open for a little while. Didn't get a chance to stop in there. I was like, I was walking with a man. I was like, me and Dre got to come through. Haven't got a chance to get back yet. So we're gonna have to set that up. But just a little smooches joint. Red, black, and green liberation.
Take me.
Yes, sir.
And I had to bring out Auntie Maxine.
Hey now.
Don't test the waters.
Oh, I love that shirt.
Don't test the waters.
I love that shirt.
She been kind of quiet since she impeached homeboy. I ain't mad at her. She said, "We're gonna impeach. I'm gonna impeach you. I'm gonna impeach you," and she did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, I heard Nancy which one I did like, yeah, we've been thinking about putting some clauses and pauses and things in place to ask a question about president's health ability to perform under health and stress.
This is true.
Don't test the waters. I dare not speak against her.
Mm-hmm. Reclaiming her time.
Exactly. Everybody be dropping that line.
Right.
She's
been for the culture.
I think in that sense, I want to give a toast to I'm still speaking, so I'm reclaiming my time.
Yes. Love it.
I'm still speaking. I'm reclaiming my time. Come on, sisters. Let them have their words, please. Please. They have wisdom and knowledge. Let them speak. Let them be. Get out of the way.
Cheers.
Yes. Oh my God. You know what this tastes like?
What it tastes like, brother?
And I haven't gotten to the shoulders yet, so there's more to it, even though it is called monkey shoulder. It's like it tastes like that moment that you're just not gonna go home when you should. you know that moment. You at the party, you with some people to be with, you're someone you're supposed to be, any of those above and more, or things about to go down, and now it's the time for me to go to save from the mess. But you know what? Might have to I'm just gonna see what's gonna happen the next hour.
That's a perfect description. I hear you. Say no more. I understand what's in your glass, brother. It's a glass of danger. It's a glass of danger and potential poor choices.
Exactly. Exactly. It really is that.
And this is spicy over here. This would like be the perfect base for a hot toddy. I feel like you remember the scene in Titanic when it was like full steam ahead and they got all the people down shoveling coal into the fire. I feel like there's a bunch of people right on my chest right now shoveling coal into the fire. That's how I feel right now. Just spicy.
I can relate to that. Yeah, this has that spice here and is in the nasal
Mm-hmm.
is rising up.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed assurance. All right.
Yes, sir.
Good. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
let's go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think what you're gonna say. What's on your mind? What's going on?
Yeah, brother. I mean, these days,
Oof, these days.
these days,
Mm.
you know, to be a fly on the wall or someone's head. Maybe we should start there. Because I think the last conversation we had, we were talking about the presidential debate,
Mm, gosh.
right? So let's talk about our little moment for the culture this past Wednesday, where we had not one, not two, but three individuals on the stage engaged in debate. One was more of a silent protest, you know,
So,
making a cameo. If you don't want your fly all up in the videos, come to the other side of the aisle.
if you're not supposed to be on the stage, get off the stage. They needed the hype man saying that, grabbing the mic.
Oh, so I want to ask you, brother, when did you realize and know before we get like unpack it, but when did you realize and notice, oh, there's something on that man's head?
Well, I'm surprised more people are not talking about it, but remember the question that was asked and the response. I mean, it was almost like the question was asked basically, do you believe systemic racism is a thing? No, I don't. The fly was like, hold on, think about that. What you want to say? What you want to say now? And oh, really? I'm just going to sit here, and the world's going to see it because you ain't coming out of your mouth correctly. Because homeboy went on like it's not really a problem, and these evils, anti-patriotic messages. Come on now. That's for me. That was such a moment. I was like, he just came out of his mouth and said that systemic racism is not real. It's not a thing, and it's problematic. Anti-patriot. It's anti-American and unpatriotic to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It is for me, and I know this because you know this too because we do this work. But it's still so surprising to hear people come out of their mouths and be like, I'm not so sure systemic racism is real. And it's like, wow, it really is watching people say, I know she lost her hair and she's sick, but is it really cancer? You know,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
it's like the body is dying and depleting and falling apart,
Mm.
and the cells are esthematizing, and you really are like, but is it really cancer? It's just it's intense a matter of powerful, forceful disbelief
Mm.
that is a little hard to digest and swallow and take in. It's I mean we laugh about it, we want people to fly, but it's really powerful to see these major forces having their way and using their power to control and keep and take us steps backwards. It answers for me. I have no more. Even though I priced it before. I study history. I'm in it, but my mind goes to space like, how could they think about that moment when if you were the person who was in charge of hanging the signs on the door that said colored white?
Mm.
Like you had to make that choice and go, I think this is the right thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
or this is just my job and I'm not going to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put up. I'm going to build. I'm going to divide a bus station and put money behind building a separate entrance that says colored. Like I'm going to do that. South Africa did that nationwide. America did that throughout the South, but had ripple effect all over the country. Like I'm no longer. I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing the people who walked in and nailed the signs to the walls.
Mm.
They tried to kidnap the governor of Michigan.
Yep. Yep.
They thought it was okay to kidnap her, put her on trial, and I doubt she's going to be in a comfortable suite.
Mm-hmm.
Or the back of somebody's van or in somebody's dirty, nasty basement. You know, it's it's really intense to think about all that stuff right now. So for me, The Fly was I was like, oh my, I was blown away, and was like, well, I hope this is just as dangerous as the Nixon moment when Nixon starts sweating,
Mm,
and lost to John F. Kennedy. I hope this is just as detrimental as that.
mm.
Really do. I hope people can look at it and go, oh, dang, like, ew, like, ew, ew. It's just hanging on there, just sitting. And it was amazing. I mean, that white hair,
Mm,
and then that dark black fly.
mm,
Woo, so much. So
mm.
much. One for the history books.
Absolutely. And
Oh,
it's
what was
like
one of yeah, go ahead, go
the fly was like that meme goes, why you always lying? The fly just came in, boom. That's how it felt. That's how it felt to me. It's like the fly just entered as soon as that song started playing, fly right there. And to
ahead.
be real, it's confirmed for me what I thought to be true for the longest time. That man is dead inside.
Yeah,
He has no soul.
yeah,
And it's like a fly will never stay that still on a person who actually has charisma and blood pumping through their body. Like it stayed there for a very long time.
and
And and the fact that a fly's lifespan is not long, right?
one day,
Yet
right?
this fly made up in their mind, I'm gonna spend some time here because this is my purpose. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be.
That's such a good point.
It's like, wow, like
Good point.
that. I don't know where it's coming from, but it ain't an accident. It ain't an accident.
Mm-mm,
So
mm-mm,
that was just like, wow. This you can't make this stuff up.
mm-mm.
And like someone said on the radio, it was like Kamala was over there looking laid, looking real fresh. Hair was popping and flowing, melanated, etc. And bro over there was like to the point where the fly was attractive. It's rough, man. It was rough. It was rough to see. It was rough to see.
It was rough to see, and also real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that whole when you talk about the dead inside, it wasn't like he was sitting in the room by himself, sitting still against the wall. He was talking, not moving much, but moving enough. But think about the hot lights and a whole camera crew, and then a room full of people watching, and another full room full of people working.
Mm,
All that was going on. That fly was like, all right, I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. What's up?
mm.
Like
Crazy,
if you ever believe in something,
crazy.
now, I told you already about we could start humming that scene from Color Purple with Suge. Can't you see that God's trying to tell you something right now? Right now, right now. You better
Yes,
march back from the juke joint to the church to hear
yes,
the message.
yes.
It's I find myself in moments of like, this is unbelievable, and then moments of like, what's going to happen to us?
Mm-hmm.
Because these people talking like crazy talk. You have a president who went from um, COVID's not really a thing to, oh, it's a Chinese disease to, oh, it's not that effective. It's not going to hit any people. We're going to end it, have a cure, to I got it, and I don't let it defeat you. And I feel stronger than I felt in 20 years.
Mm.
Like, to me, it's amazing that he's pushing stuff out there and people are just buying it. Like, really buying it. And it's like, this is the same stuff that our country is founded on.
Mm-hmm.
And people just not being informed and intelligent. I mean, my mind goes to like, do I need to just shift and go do something else?
Mm.
Is it just pointless to try and convince people that 1 plus 1 is 2? Do I need to start trying to do that and just go and be selfish and make money?
It's a good question, brother. Because you might be selfish and make money, but knowing you, brother, I know where your money would go.
Mm,
So that's the piece that I'm wrestling with, that I
right.
always wrestle with. Particularly when things start to feel corporate. I'm like, if things feel corporate, I might as well make some corporate money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But thinking about the whole debate, I use it as an opportunity for my class to teach and introduce some topics and some terms that they didn't know about. So I asked folks, I was like, who watched the debate? And my hands went up. So this is my power, identity, and social change class. I'm like,
which
okay,
is a
so what did
beautiful thing.
yes, and it's been good. It's tough not to have everyone in the space together, but it's been good. And just asking questions. Okay, so you're watching the debate. Okay, what did you notice? Some folks like, yeah, I noticed this. And I was like, okay, great. I was like, so here you have a woman who identifies as black, right, from Jamaican heritage, from Indian heritage. You have a white man, right, and I said you have a white woman who's the moderator. I said, do you think the moderator engaged with both candidates in the same manner? Ask that question. Okay. Do you think the moderator talked and interjected and held someone else accountable to the rules the same way they hold the elder person accountable to the rules? Have that conversation. I was like, okay. Do you know these people? I started rattle off some people. I was like, you ever heard of Bell Hooks? No? Google her right now. Google her right now and go put in the chat what you found. All right. Anyone ever heard of Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw? Kimberly Williams Crenshaw? Google her name, put her in. All right, next. Okay, great. Next. All right. So, do you all know about feminism? A lot of hands go up. Have you ever heard about womanism? No. Google that. Google that right now. All right. Google Alice Walker. Go ahead. Google. All right. Cool. Did that. Y'all know what intersectionality is? No. All right. What is it? Okay. Y'all know what kyriarchy is? You probably heard of patriarchy, but what about kyriarchy? All right. Go. All right. Go. So we had a whole conversation. I was like, so now that you know these terms, what happened during that debate? Now that you know these terms,
Exactly.
how was this moderator engaging with folks and why? So we talk about power and identity and social change.
Exactly.
What was happening there?
Exactly.
So it was a good conversation.
Exactly. I wish I could have been there for that.
Mm-hmm.
I had moments I was like, they are deferring to him. They're clearly, no, that's not what I want to talk about. I'm going to answer the question I'm thinking of that you didn't ask. Mr. President, Mr. Vice 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 President.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And even though Kamala looks were strong, it still was like this just looks. And he sat in that space of being like, oh, everything's fine. These two women talking doesn't really mean that much. And played it. So like it was, I say it again and again and again. I do not believe in people that call the president stupid. He's an ignoramus, but they have their planning, their scheming, their plotting is strong. Strong. He in the nicest way possible made it sound like he was a well-intentioned good man who's thank you so much for that comment. I'm going to cut you off right now. What I want to say. And Kamala, thank you for those kind words. And his was wrong with you. Like it was smooth.
Such an honor to share the stage with you.
Exactly.
You know, the call and the message that I gave you. But stop talking because I'm speaking now.
Exactly. And no, I'm not going to stop talking when you ask me to speak now. And the like, okay, you're an excitable woman. I'll let you jump in now. But now what she said that was wrong was, it was amazing. It was amazing. That's good. How did they respond to all that?
First, I think a lot of them were like, wow, I've never heard of these terms before. So these are 10th graders.
Yeah.
A lot of them were like, oh, I've never heard these terms before. And they're like, wow, okay, no, that makes sense because we've had conversations about how some people might have privilege in certain spaces, but might have disadvantages in other spaces or might be oppressed in certain spaces. And that said, some folks who have the same identity, but different identities in other spaces might start to differentiate in terms of how they experience the world or how the world experiences them. So I was like, again, you think about intersectionality, we went over exactly what intersectionality is. And then I said, how it's taken shape differently these days. But what you need to know is to understand that marginalized groups can exist within marginalized groups based on our identity. But I said before we was talking about Black women. That's what we was talking about. But now, if you want to wrap your head around the concept, there are marginalized groups can exist within marginalized groups. So it was a good conversation. They're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Well, and that pretty much was a segue into cycle of oppression, where we talked about the cycle of oppression, etc. So yeah, it was a good conversation.
Nice. What the one thing I love about that the most is we got to take intersectionality back.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to hear, well, I live on Third Avenue and the South Avenue, Fifth Avenue bothers me a lot. So my intersectionality of being a Third Avenue resident is like, that's not what that means.
Mhm.
That's not what that means at all. Like, it's very specific in calling out um, one of the founders and leading minds for behind critical race theory.
Yes.
You know, like it's just not talking about you wearing blue and also liking green. Like, that's not what this is about. This is about Black women.
Mhm.
And that's what Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw said when she first brought the term to us,
Mhm.
is what she was talking about. And everyone has taken it and just run with it. And I love I gotten people mad. Somebody used it in the talk, and I was like, do you think that's what Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw meant? This person was there reading a New York Times selling book, and they're like, well, who is she? And I
Mm.
was like, you afraid you about to lose your job. You using this term and using it improperly, and doesn't know where it comes from.
Mm.
And I get it that words grow and expand. It's been Kleenex. It's been Xerox. It's become something else. I accept that. But I think I always find it whatever possible to bring people back to the root to understand where it came from. So that's one piece that I like from what you're talking about. I like many pieces of it. For one, you got all my sheroes up in there. Like we need to mention Alice Walker as many times as possible.
Mm.
I think she's one of our greatest thinkers. One thing she said one time
Mm.
blew me, and I knew people. She's like trying to think of a hip hop version. She's kind of Lauryn Hill after the album came out. Lauryn Hill, like,
Okay.
it's like, is she crazy? And then you listen, like, she's saying a lot in there, but the whole world is saying she's crazy. Alice Walker once said, "I actually think that people that we classify as psychotic or mentally deranged have potentially seen the truth,
Mm.
and their behaviors and actions are ways for them to protect themselves from the world."
Mm.
So they put this exterior of being what we call crazy psychotic, and living in psychosis because they can't have people coming in because they've seen the truth. I was like, dang, Alice,
Mm.
like I
Mm.
love where you go with that mind.
Wow.
Yeah, right, right. She's not for everybody.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because it's a higher level of thought, and I appreciate that. She's like, you know what? I'm gonna need y'all to give me. I'm gonna go over here and keep doing what I do. Go my little space in the Berkshires,
Yep.
TR
I'm gonna do.
420.
I'm gonna do me.
Exactly, very much so. Got my flowers, So yeah, so thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. I really do.
Mm. Of
People,
course. Of course. It was good, man. It was good. I mean, and I think what we need to do is, particularly in spaces where we're supposed to be educating young people, we can't avoid these conversations, no matter how messy they are, no matter how unprepared people might feel people are to engage in them. We have to engage in them. We
mhm.
have to. So anytime I could bring that stuff into the classroom, are you kidding me? That's free curriculum right there. I'm just
Oh,
watching what's happening and bringing it in, and we could just build around that.
completely. Well, I hope your institution sees the value of what you offer and bring to the table because it is mama major. You know, mama major. So I think, let me see. I think I may want to pour a little bit more and have another conversation. How
Let's
do you
do it.
feel about that? Is that all right? You got time, brother?
Brother, I got time.
Because so I'm sitting here. I also have a little bit. See, look at me.
Uh-huh.
I'm in the party now. I done went over to the DJ. Let me spin for a little while. And, and everybody's like, yo, André, go sit down. Go sit down. I know what's going on. Exactly. This is my jam.
If you play that song one more time, it's been 4 times. Let me hear that song the 5th time.
But the people love it. The people love it. Woo. Well, I wanted to take a phrase from our historical past
Uh-huh.
with a legend we just lost about good trouble.
Uh-huh.